Hi, everyone. Today I want to explore a phenomenon that we've all experienced at one time or another. Have you ever been hit by a doorknob, shocked by your friend, or felt your clothes stick to you with static electricity? That jolt isn't just a random annoyance. It turns out that tiny shock is a cosmic showdown of atoms, and you are the main character. Today we'll unravel why these shocks happen, the science behind them, and what groundbreaking research has revealed about our daily encounters with static electricity. Let's get into the details. By the way, if you are interested in science, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss new information. Now let's dive into today's topic, the triboelectric effect, how rubbing creates charge. So what exactly causes that tiny electric shock? The answer lies in a process called electrostatic discharge, or ESD. Every time we walk across a carpet, slide out of a car seat, or even rub our hands together, we're setting the stage for a subtle electrical dance. Electrons, the tiny particles that carry electricity, get transferred between surfaces. Over time, this transfer leads to an imbalance of electrical charge. When two objects with different charge levels finally meet, the electrons rush to balance the difference, and that rush is what you feel as a shock. The root cause of these shocks is the triboelectric effect, a phenomenon studied for centuries. In 2019, researchers at the University of Rochester published a study in Nature Materials mapping the triboelectric series, a ranking of materials based on their tendency to gain or lose electrons when rubbed. For example, materials like rubber and wool are electron hoarders, while metals like copper are electron donors. An interesting experiment conducted in 2018 by physicists at Stanford University tested static exchange between people. They found that shocking someone depends on two factors: your charge relative to theirs and whether they are grounded. If you are charged and the other person is touching a conductive surface, like a metal chair, you will shock them. But if they are insulated, for example, if they are wearing rubber shoes, the charge is trapped. This explains why you can shock your coworker in the office but not your dog on the carpet. How different materials and weather affect. Another key element in the story is the type of materials involved. Not all surfaces behave the same way when it comes to static electricity. For example, synthetic fabrics like polyester or nylon can create more friction than natural fibers such as cotton, leading to a greater buildup of static charge. Even the soles of our shoes play a role. Rubber-soled shoes, when used on carpeted floors, can generate significant static electricity because of the way the materials interact under pressure and friction. One fascinating aspect of this research is the role that our environment plays. Have you ever noticed that static shocks tend to happen more often during winter? That's because humidity, the amount of water vapor in the air, has a big impact on static electricity. In dry conditions, the air doesn't conduct electricity very well. This means that when you build up a charge, it doesn't dissipate into the air as easily, so you're more likely to experience a sudden discharge. Conversely, on humid days, the water molecules in the air help to neutralize the charge gradually, so those shocks become less frequent and less intense. A 2017 MIT study published in the Journal of Electrostatics revealed that moisture, the water vapor in the air, acts as a natural charge disperser. Water molecules are polar, meaning they can capture stray electrons and neutralize them. At 60% humidity, static shocks are rare. But in dry winter air, below 40% humidity, there is nothing to prevent charges from accumulating in your body. This explains why desert climates or heated indoor spaces in winter become shock hotspots. The drier the air, the more you become a walking capacitor. What about our own bodies? It turns out that the human body is a pretty good conductor of electricity. This means that when you are charged with static electricity, when you come into contact with another object, your body is ready to quickly compensate for the electrical differences. The shock you feel is just electrons moving rapidly to find a new equilibrium. Research in biophysics has shown that our skin and tissues allow this process to happen safely. So these little zaps, while sometimes startling, are completely harmless under normal conditions. A 2020 study at the University of Birmingham, published in Scientific Reports, measured how people perceive static shocks. The researchers found that you need a charge of at least 3,000 volts to feel an electric shock, but the current is very small, microamps, and therefore harmless. The pain comes not from the electrons themselves, but from the superheated air around the spark. When electrons bounce, they create a small burst of plasma that ionizes the air, reaching temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun for a short time. Your nerve endings sense this heat and pressure, triggering that familiar pain. Interestingly, the study noted that people with drier skin felt the shocks more intensely, because dry skin is a better insulator and allows charges to build up more before discharging. Let's stop for a moment and think about how all these pieces fit together. Whenever you experience a small shock, you are witnessing a mini science experiment in real time. It's a demonstration of Coulomb's law, the fundamental principle that explains how charged particles interact, and a reminder that even everyday moments in our lives are governed by the same laws of physics that explain everything from the orbits of planets to the operation of the smallest electronic components. The next time you feel that tiny vibration, remember that you are part of a vast and complex electron dance shaped by materials, environment, and biology. It's a reminder that science isn't just something that happens in a lab, it's woven into the fabric of our daily lives. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more eye-opening content. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next scientific research topic.